Hey, what's up guys? This is Nevin here, and in this video I just want to briefly talk about the customer journey and where Autobidder kind of slides in there. So generally with the customer journey, I want to mention this is only going to be for the front end part. This isn't covering like the back end once they get into your CRM and you hit them with the email drip campaigns and stuff like that. This is just the front end when they first interact with you. Generally the most common ways they're going to first start the interaction is they're going to call, text, fill out a website form, or do a Facebook message. Generally, of course, there's other ways if you use platforms like Thumbtack, Yelp, stuff like that. But I'm just excluding that because that's a little bit different than what we're getting into. These are the most common ways that a customer is going to contact you. And the main purpose, whenever a customer first contacts you, this is the way I look at it. It's not even necessarily making a sale. You're just exchanging information. And the customer only wants to know three pieces of information when they first contact you, whether it be through a call, text, they fill out a website form, or a Facebook message. They want to know, can you do the services that they need? They have a dirty house, dirty roof, whatever. How much is it going to cost? And if you satisfied most of those things, when can you do it? Those are the three pieces of information. If you satisfy all three, well, the first two, and then you get to a point where, when can you do it and it fits in their schedule, then you move on to booking, right? A couple problems with this system. It can be very time consuming and it can be inconvenient. Now, if you have a receptionist or someone dedicated on your team that just answers phone calls and they sit behind a computer all day, that's fine. And that's, maybe not be that big of a problem. But if you're a solo operator, which a lot of people I work with are solo operators, or you have a small team, it can be very inconvenient to get phone calls while you might be washing with one hand, or you might be driving, merging whatever onto the highway. It could be very inconvenient to get a phone call and stuff like that. And text messages also can get lost in translation. Text messages are a little bit better, but it still can be quite time consuming. I personally do not like texting at all. I know some people like texting. I personally can't stand it. So that's why, Autobidder kind of fits my needs. And then the website form kind of falls in line with the calling. I mean, generally, if somebody fills out a form on your website, now you have to call them, which depending on the circumstances can kind of be somewhat frustrating for them, depending on when you call them. So the idea here is that Autobidder somewhat solves these problems. It's not going to entirely eliminate the need for phone call, but the purpose of Autobidder is to spend less time per customer, in the sense that your average phone call is generally going to be somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes, which doesn't seem like a lot of time. But if you get, 5, 6, 7, up to 10 calls a day or more, that time really starts adding up, especially when you get people who want you to come out to their property and stuff like that. We also want to create a faster experience for your customer to get what they want. What do they want? They want the three things I just mentioned earlier. Can you do the services I need, which Autobidder should fulfill that first part. How much is it going to cost? That's kind of the whole purpose of Autobidder. And then when can you do it? If you have the scheduling turned on, they should see your availability and then they can pick a date. Doesn't mean they're going to guarantee to get that date, but it's going to be, within close proximity to that date. And then the third thing is a psychological benefit. This is more so like if we're in a capitalist system and we have which means we have other competitors. We have other companies offering the same service that we offer. So the question is, what can we do to differentiate ourselves from these other companies? Some people, they do discounts. Some people, they have flashy, designs. There's all different kind of things you can do. Autobidder is just one tool in your arsenal that you can do to differentiate yourself. Again, a lot of customers, when they're looking for pressure washing services, I try to put myself into the mindset of a customer when they're researching pressure washing. Like their house needs cleaned, they've got, kids' graduation coming up, a party or whatever coming up, and they want to get it done. A lot of times they're looking up these types of search terms late at night. It might be 10 o'clock, 11, 12 o'clock at night when they're looking it up, or they might be, at work, 8 a.m., 9 a.m. when it's not so easy for them to take a phone call. They're just researching. Autobidder allows them to get what they want right away, which is not an estimate necessarily, but an actual price quote. They give you some information about the property, the square footage, whatever information you need, and you can set that yourself. It then gives them a price. So you're fulfilling what they want right away. Whereas a lot of the older school pressure washing companies, even the ones that have websites, maybe they even put their pricing on their website. They have to go through this long, drawn-out process where, again, it might be a text message chain, might be a phone call. What we're trying to do is condense that all into one. It takes the customer, literally, my catchphrase is 2 minutes. It takes the customer approximately 2 minutes to go through and get their estimate. So I have just a demo here, one pulled up. This is for landscaping, but the idea here is that they come to the page, right? And with a traditional website, a traditional company, you'd have this set up. A customer would go through and they would either call you, they would send you an email, which is pretty rare, or they would go through and fill out a standard form. With Autobidder, what we're trying to do, like I said, is take advantage of this psychological benefit, which is kind of like, I guess, what some people call like the microwave mentality, meaning whatever it is that they want to get it instant. It's like 1 day shipping, 2 day shipping from Amazon, whatever. We live in a world where you can get what you want instantaneously. And so that's what we're trying to do with Autobidder, is give them what they want instantaneously, and which in this case is just pricing information. This is kind of what it would look like. I've got a video right here. I'm not going to play it, but you could utilize video to sell your services a little bit more, or to explain to the customers how to use Autobidder. And then it's somewhat interactive. You can add a video to each particular service. But I'll say if a customer in this case wants lawn mowing and irrigation services, we simply want to know the square footage of the lawn. You can add tooltips like this to help them out. The measure map. If a customer is not sure about the square footage of their lawn, they can use the measure map, toggle that on, and then measure it. We just have some simple questions. This is just a demo, so if somebody who actually does lawn mowing probably have this a little bit different. We'll go ahead and do that. Get price, and boom, we're given exactly what we want. It's going to cost $175 to mow it. It's going to cost $750 to get the aeration, and a bundle service is $740. If they get both services together, $740, right? And so a customer has that information right away. If you have emails turned on, it would just fire off an email to them. So now they can start an email chain with you. Again, I want to make this clear. It's not like you're eliminating communication with customers. You're doing business with human beings, not robots. So you're still going to have some communication. You're still going to go back and forth. The idea is to condense that. And to get the elephant out of the big elephant in the room out of the way, and sort of get right to the point. If a customer saw the price, they're okay with the price. Okay, cool. Now let's move forward and do the rest. Now in this case, we have booking turned on for this demo. Again, you can connect the calendar if you wanted to, and a customer could just go through and say, okay, the 16th at 11 a.m. would be my preferred time. And then I would just put a disclaimer that says, if depending on the time that you pick, it may not be that exact time, but we're going to get it close to that, or whatever, right? It's just some kind of disclaimer. And then a customer goes through and books. All right, so now we've given them the three things that they want: the services that they're inquiring, the pricing information, and the time frame. Now again, you may not have the booking part turned on, but at the same time you can turn on other automations. So going back to the customer journey, when a customer just filled that form out, they got an email. You may have heard the notification, but you can also set up Zapier and send text messages and whatever the rest of your system looks like. That's somewhat kind of how Autobidder is designed to fit into your existing system. If you already have a website, you already have a CRM, you don't need to change any. I mean, you need to make some adjustments, but you don't really need to make any massive changes. All you do is plug Autobidder into your system, set your pricing, and then kind of let it work for you. That's the idea, right? So that pretty much covers the front end of the customer journey on when a customer first interacts with you. Now, if a customer does call you or text you, then the idea here, this is how you could use it with like Jill's office, something like that, where a customer calls you and you go through the form, do it that way, so that you actually generate a price rather than you just ballparking a price. If they text you, you could also just send them a link to the Autobidder form, or you could just go through the Autobidder form for them, and then ask for the questions that you need and so on and so forth. And then the website form kind of would work the same way. You could have they fill out a form, that way you collect the lead up front, and then you could have it redirect to a page and say something like, if you like to get a price right now instead of waiting, you can fill out our calculator. And then of course they'd have to fill out the Autobidder form again, but at that point you would have collected the lead, and now you can automate some of that process. And then Facebook, same way. If they message you on Facebook, you could just send a link. Again, that's just one way of automating it. You don't have to do it that way. It's just a tool that you plug into your system. So that's the point I wanted to make in this video. If you guys have any questions about this, or if you need help, please send me an email. Thanks. Have a great day.